All right, so let's get right into it. This is a crazy story, really. We're going to break down how just one phone call, and I mean an incredibly long phone call, managed to wipe an entire scammer call center right off the face of the internet.
And this quote right here, after this call, everything vanished. That's from the guys who pulled this whole thing off. And believe me, they are not exaggerating. When they were finished, the scammers, they were gone. Literally, packed their bags and disappeared.
So, that really is the big question, isn't it? How in the world can a single phone call make a whole building just vanish from the internet? It sounds like something out of a movie, right? But it's totally real, and it's this amazing mix of some serious tech skills, a little bit of psychological warfare, and, well, a ton of patience.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The target here was the scam call center. They were running their whole operation out of a place in India called the Singh Resort. Now, go ahead, try to look it up now, you won't find it, but before this all went down, oh yeah, it was a very real place with a very active scam business.
And the scam they were running? It's a classic. You've probably heard of, maybe even gotten an email like this yourself. You get this email saying there's a fake charge on your account. You kind of panic, and you call the number they give you. And who's on the other end? A guy, let's call him Sam. And his whole job is to talk you into giving him remote access to your computer so he can fix the problem.
Right. So that's where our story really kicks off. A group of scambaiters, these are the good guys who fight scammers, they get on the phone with this guy Sam. They pretend to be an elderly victim, but here's the thing. They have a much, much bigger plan than just wasting his time.
And this is the moment where everything flips. I mean, completely turns on its head. The scammer, Sam, he thinks he's getting into the victim's computer. But what's actually happening is that the scambaiters are using that exact same connection to hack back into his computer. Boom, they're in.
And this little comparison just says it all, doesn't it? The power has completely shifted. The scammer's access, it's temporary. It could be cut off at any second. But the scambaiters? Oh no. They get in there and they elevate their permissions. They make their access, and I love this quote from them, eternal. They basically own his computer now.
Okay, so they've got access. That's phase one. Now comes phase two, the art of the stall. The mission is simple. Keep this guy on the phone for as long as humanly possible. Because you got to remember, every single minute he's stuck talking to them, that's another minute he can't spend scamming a real, vulnerable person.
And to give you an idea of how long this went on, just look at this timeline. This is the scammer's local time in India. His shift is supposed to end at 4 a.m. By 5:30 a.m., he is still on the call. He is the last person left in a dark, empty office, still trying to get this fake refund sorted out. It's just unbelievable.
So you're probably wondering, how did they do it? How did they keep him on the phone that long? Simple. Pure, unadulterated trolling. The scammer asks a simple question, like, where do you use your debit card? And the scambaiter just goes off on this impossibly long, rambling monologue listing every American grocery store and fast food chain he can think of.
And it just gets more and more absurd. The scammer asks him what he does for a living, and the guy says, oh, I'm an architect. And then he just casually claims to have designed the Guggenheim, the Golden Gate Bridge, oh, and the pyramids of Giza. Yeah, worked on those too. Can you just imagine the scammer on the other end just completely bewildered?
This one is my absolute favorite. He's not done. He then casually claims that he was also responsible for the Nile River, which he insists is man-made. He's like, I don't know if you knew that or not. It's brilliant. It's psychological warfare, but it's disguised as just the most ridiculous comedy. Okay, but here's the really important part. All of this stalling, all these crazy stories, it wasn't just for fun. It had a very strategic purpose. While one guy was on the phone rambling about man-made rivers, the rest of the team was in the background, using that eternal access to dig through the scammer's network and pinpoint his exact physical location. So now they know where he is. But that's not enough. They want to know who he is. They want a face. And to get it, they cook up this absolutely brilliant trap. Here's how it worked. First, they invent a whole story about some other rival scammer to get Sam all jealous and worried. Then, they send him a fake Bitcoin receipt, saying it's from this other guy. But the real genius, the trap itself, is hidden right there in plain sight. It's the QR code on the receipt. The whole goal was this. They're hoping Sam scans that QR code with his phone.
If he does, it'll take him to a website that asks for a photo to, verify his identity for the transaction. But of course, that website is a fake, and any photo he takes gets sent straight to the Scambaiters. It's just a masterpiece of social engineering.
All right, so at this point, hours have gone by. The scammers are getting desperate, they're confused, they haven't made a single cent, and you can just feel them starting to realize that something is very, very wrong here. The stage is set for the grand finale.
And then you hear it. Game is over now. And those are the scammer's own words. After all this time, all this frustration, he finally gets it. He's been played. What he doesn't know is just how badly.
So remember that access they got hours and hours ago? Well, the Scambaiters use it to flip a switch. They remotely turn on the microphone on the scammer's computer. It is time. Time to let him and anyone else left in that office know that the game is really over.
And then, coming out of his own computer speakers for the whole room to hear, they just start dropping bombshells. They start listing what they know. First the country, then the state, then the city, and finally the kill shot, the exact name of the building they're in.
This is it. This is the knockout punch. The Scambaiter says, "Are you staying at the Singh Resort?" And you can just hear the absolute chaos erupt on the other end of the line. They've been caught red-handed, and they know it. There is no denying it. So what happens next? What do you do when your entire secret scam operation gets exposed, live for everyone to hear? Well, you don't just hang up the phone. You run. You run fast.
And this is the real-world consequence, the actual impact of that one phone call. Before, the Singh Resort was a real place you could find online. After that call, the scammers freaked out. They shut the whole thing down and scrubbed every single mention of that place from the internet. They literally vanished.
It's just an incredible story of flipping the script on the bad guys. But it really leaves you with a pretty sobering thought, doesn't it? This whole entire thing, from start to finish, was possible because one scammer got one person's email address. It really makes you think. With all of our personal data floating around out there, how many of us are just one single email away from becoming the next target?